On December 19th, the Boyers and the Cecils flew out of Evansville to New York City. The intent was to take in some shows as well as enjoy all of the festivities and activities of New York City that only occur during the Christmas season. We arrived at our hotel before check-in time, so we secured our luggage, then walked around the corner to La Marseille, a French cafe not far from our hotel. They serve one of the best gin and tonics ever. Since today was Saturday, they were offering their brunch menu all day. On Saturday evening, we enjoyed an outstanding performance of Funny Girl, starring Leah Michelle. Okay, it's Sunday morning. Here we are in New York City. This is the view from our hotel room. That intersection right down there, if you go to the right, that's where the August Wilson Theater is. That's where we saw Funny Girl last night. Looks like an apartment building right across from us. And all kind of little eateries along the lower level. I think this is 8th Avenue and 52nd, maybe? Yeah. So we're south of Central Park, about 8 blocks. We're headed out to breakfast, possibly Macy's, see Hadestown, and then dinner at Swing 46. The lady on the left in the photograph lost a stroller and several Christmas packages from the back of her car. They were lying in the street when strangers retrieved them and moved them to the sidewalk to keep them safe. She was so delighted at the generosity and kindness of the New Yorkers. Breakfast was at the Galaxy Diner. This is a typical New York diner filled with mostly locals, not tourists. The food was delicious, portions were plentiful, and the prices were great. From there, we took a subway ride down to, I think, 42nd Street, where we got out to do a quick tour of Macy's. We especially admired all the beautiful Christmas decorations. Later in the afternoon, we attended what Ross and I thought was an outstanding performance of Hadestown. The ladies, not so much. We returned back to our hotel to freshen up just a bit, to dress and get ready to go out to Swing 46 for dinner and dancing. We really didn't know what we were getting into when we signed up to do this, but it turned out to be fantastic. The food was good, the music was good, and everyone was dancing, having a great time. On Monday evening, we took a chartered bus to Brooklyn, where we toured an area called Diker Heights. This area is filled with beautiful old homes, and they're all decorated with lots and lots of festive lights. On Tuesday morning at 11, we were joined by Maddie Bennett from Nashville, Tennessee. Maddie is a student at Fordham University in New York City, studying art history, I think. She joined us for breakfast as well as a walk over to Rockefeller Center, where we looked at the Christmas tree and where we watched them skating in the plaza. From here, our journey took us down Fifth Avenue, where we enjoyed seeing some of the more colorful windows in Saks. We were actually in Saks on Fifth Avenue and went to their Christmas area, where we saw several Christmas trees, and I did my best at doing some artistic shots with some of the beautiful fabrics and clothing and a couple of really beautiful ornaments that were hanging and for sale on the trees there. A new museum opened up in New York about a month before our visit, called the Broadway Museum. You enter at ground level and there's a gift shop with all kinds of t-shirts and sweatshirts and memorabilia. You actually take an elevator to the third floor and start on the third floor and then work your way down. The top floor had a lot of written information about Broadway shows and people involved in theater. As you move on down to the second floor, there were lots more actual memorabilia. There was a greeting card from Flo Ziegfeld, I should say, a photograph of the actual Fanny Bryce, who was the original Funny Girl. There were costumes from the Ziegfeld Follies, the large, colorful dresses or skirts that the girls wore. There were some costumes from the original chorus line from Mamma Mia. There was an important section of the AIDS quilt. Some of the older generation will remember what that was all about. And finally, there was an incredibly detailed, elaborate costume from the original Phantom of the opera. This was a really fun museum to go to. but there was more there to see than we actually had time to experience. So we plan on going back. One of the real highlights of our trip was the Tuesday evening dinner and show at Feinstein's 54 Below, starring Vanessa Williams. This is a part of their Platinum or Diamond series, not for sure what it's called, but everything is stepped up just a bit. You're greeted at the door with a glass of champagne and then seated at a tiny little New York size round table for 4 people, where you are served a flight of appetizers and then a salad or some sort of an appetizer course. I had the fried oysters, a main course, and dessert. And then Vanessa Williams takes the stage to perform for about an hour, 15, 20 minutes, and she was absolutely beautiful and outstanding.
Careful the spell you cast, not just on children. Sometimes a spell may last past what you can see and turn against you. Careful the tale you tell, that is the spell. Children will listen.
Wednesday morning took us to a restaurant called Jams right across from Central Park. After finishing our delicious breakfast, we headed back to the hotel, taking in the sights as we walked. We went past Sur la Table, which is a cooking store. I think there's a magazine named after this store. We went into Nordstrom's, where Susie and I had our picture taken with Santa Claus. And then we happened across the New York Roadrunners, which is a significant place for runners. They had all of the medals from all of the New York marathons on display there. Thank you, Ross and Joan Cecil, for planning our adventure in the Big Apple.